Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Rambam. Hilcha is Talmud Torah, Perek Dalid. Today is Halacha Ches number 8. Shnayim sheshalu. Two people come and ask a Rabbi a question, seemingly simultaneously. Shal echad kinyan v'shal echad shalei kinyan. One is asking to the point, which is being discussed, and the other one apparently is asking a side kind of a question. Says the Rambam, Niskakin the Inyan, you pay attention to the one who is asking on the Inyan, on the point that you're discussing right now. Maisa v'sheino maisa. One is asking about a very practical matter, and one is asking about something that is abstract. Niskakin l'maisa, you go to the one that is practical. Halacha or midrash, one is asking about a halacha, a Torah law, how it's understood and kept. And one is asking about agada, which means midrash. One is asking about some kind of an interpretation of the verses. Niskakin la'halacha, you go to the halacha, that which is the law, the way that we're going to keep it. Midrash va'agada, one is asking over here about the interpretation of verses in the Torah. The agada, the other one is asking about agada, the more esoteric statements of the Chazal. Niskakin the midrash, you go to the interpretation of the pasuk. Agada v'kavachomer, you have Chazal's esoteric statements, or a kavachomer. A kavachomer is when you can make an inference from one premise, a minor premise, to a more major one. This is one of the mechanics over here of making drashas. Says the Rambam, Niskakin the kavachomer. In that case, you go after the kavachomer. That is a reference in which we're able to make based upon very Talmudic laws that we have. Kavachomer gzera shava. Let's say that you have a kavachomer, this inference and a gzera shava, and you want to be learning from one verse to another. In that case also, we go based on the logic of the kavachomer. Hayushoilim shnayim echad chacham v'echad talmud. If two people asking the questions, and one is a chacham, one is a wise man, the echad talmud, and one is a talmud, a student, lower level, niskakin the chacham, you go according to the chacham. Talmud v'amaretz, if you have a regular student and an amaretz, an ignoramus, niskakin the talmud, you go to the student. Shneim chachamim, if they're both chachamim, shneim talmidim, or they're both students, shneim amei aretz, or they're both ignorant, shalu shneim b'shtei halachos, and they're both asking two laws, ay b'shtei tshuvos, or two answers, ay b'shtei sheilos, or two different questions, shnei maisim, or two practical things, harishus biyada metargim me'ata. At that point, the permission is granted to answer whoever it is that you want, once that they're equal in that way. That's the Rambam in Ches, and let's learn test together number 9, and we'll complete the 4th chapter. Says the Rambam, Ein yeshenu beis hamidrash, a person should not sleep in the beis midrash, in the yeshiva and house of study. V'chol hamiznamnim beis hamidrash, anyone who dozes off inside of a beis midrash, chachmasai naseis kroim, his wisdom will be like a torn into shreds. How do we see torn into shreds? Shlomo Melech said in his wisdom, Ukraim talbish numa. It says that a person who sleeps, who is drowsy, will clothe a man in rags. So too over here, your Torah, which is coming with drowsiness, it'll be torn into shreds like rags. Says the Rambam further, you should only speak about words of Torah in a beis midrash, nothing else. Even if someone sneezes while they're in the beis midrash, don't say, oh, to your recovery, meaning bless you. So too, of course, if you can't bless a person, they should get better for sneezing or feel good for sneezing. If you can't say that, then you can't talk about the final, the basketball finals. You can't speak about the latest movie. You can't speak about what you're going to have for lunch. You can't speak about your new shoes or the vacation you're taking in the summer. That's not a place for beis midrash. So, you should know that the house of study, a yeshiva, is greater, has a greater kedusha than a shul. So maybe in the shul there's certain things that you'll have a permissibility to be able to speak about if it's necessary. But in the Beis Midrash, how careful a person has to be not to bring any of the externals and the extra world into the hallways and the walls of the Beis Midrash itself, which is a place of Torah and Kedusha. All the best.